Sony continue to hamstring us trophy hunters with limited trophy features and functionality. If you're a trophy hunter in the community, you'll know the struggle back in the PS3 days when trophies were kind of an afterthought, taking on after achievements, and even now into the PlayStation 5 days for the better part of 2021, trophy hunting on the PlayStation 5 was kind of impractical because of how stupid the design was. Sony have thankfully fixed that, and they're continuing to adapt trophies, although not quite enough with the new PlayStation 5 updates. They've actually announced some new trophy features in the new PlayStation beta, as well as a bunch of other features for the beta, so I'm going to go through the trophy stuff and talk about that a little bit, as well as some of the other features that they have coming out in the new PS5 software update beta thing that's happening at the moment. I will say though, it is too little too late in this kind of a situation, at least in my opinion. But I would love to get the rest of the community's thoughts on this as well. Do you think that Sony is really treating trophy hunters very well, or do you think they kind of just throw us off to the side and think they'll do their own thing anyway? They're gonna buy the games, they're gonna play the games. It's a whole thing. I guess to their credit, they are planting a tree if you do earn a particular trophy in Horizon Forbidden West, which is kind of a nice, weird PR thing, I guess. But that's beside the point. Okay, so on the PlayStation blog, they've got all of the new features. The first one I want to talk about is the trophy one. So the trophy UI update, they've called it, which is we've updated the visual design of trophy cards and the trophy list. You can also see suggestions for which trophies to earn on a trophy tracker, access it from the control center whenever you're playing a game. And they've got this really nice screenshot here showcasing how that kind of works in terms of like progress and tracking towards a particular trophy. This is literally the feature that they promised we would be getting at launch on the PlayStation 5, and it just never really worked particularly well. The trophy tracking feature, the trophy recommendation feature, which is something probably the baseline minimum requirement thing we've been wanting from the PlayStation trophies, I don't know, the past like 7 years, I would say. If you don't have a PS5 yet and you're not really familiar with what I'm talking about, when the PlayStation 5 was announced and revealed and launched, it was supposed to have trophy tracking built in, but realistically only like 4 or 5% of the games really utilize that feature, mostly Sony first party games, a couple of the launch titles, and then not really much else. There have been a few surprises where games have done a great job with it, but this seems to be trying to push that and take it to the next level. Trophy cards are not necessarily the trophy list. Cards are kind of this like mini thing in between. It's kind of like a mixture of news, recommendations, tips, and trophies, which kind of, it's a new thing for the PlayStation 5. It's hard to explain if you don't have one, but if you do, you'll know what I'm talking about. They were kind of useless. Sony used them as like a way to give you tips and guides on how to get past certain parts of the game, or telling you how long it was going to take to progress through a certain part of the game. It looks like now they've actually enhanced it to make them kind of useful. Suggestions for which trophies you can earn is really good, because if you're playing, you're getting ready to close off for the night, and you look at your cards, and it's like, hey, you've got like 3 minutes until you get this trophy, or you're on kill 999 out of 1,000, you just got to kill one more enemy and you can get this trophy. I think that's a great feature, and I think it's like a must-have feature in there for trophy hunting. It's honestly going to make it more fun and a little bit more accessible for most people, rather than just hoping, you know, especially if you're going for a long cumulative based trophy. I do still think though that it is, you know, a minor feature given how many of us there are in this community now. I know trophy hunting might not be as popular as it used to be. I think the community is slightly fractured and fragmented, and that's a conversation for another day. But I don't know, I'd be curious to see what you guys think in terms of trophy hunting on the PS5. What kind of features do you guys want to see? What kind of things do you need to see from Sony to improve trophy hunting? Because for me, it's really just tracking. That's the only thing I really want, but I really do want to know what you guys think as well. Obviously, they updated the trophy list because it was, reading them was horizontal rather than vertical. They've reverted it back to that vertical way of trophy hunting, which is good, because the horizontal way pretty much made me quit, so it's good to have that back again. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. The rest of the features in this update are pretty damn minor. They've got this whole host of new party chat options where they're talking about open and closed parties. Party system has been a bit messy since that big update on the PlayStation 4 where they changed the way it worked, so it's more like Discord. It just means the workflow of party systems has been kind of a mess for the last couple of years. It seems like they're trying to get that back on track and trying to fix that. When you start a party, you can now select whether it's an open or a closed party, which is good because you'd have this time you open a party and then random people who you used to play with could join. That's messy. I mean, you guys know already, you're playing games probably more frequently than I am, so you're experiencing it more frequently than I am. You can share play directly from voice chat, which is kind of a cool thing. I've used the share play function a lot when I'm playing a multiplayer game and I want to show some friends, or if I need some help or something like that. So it's actually a kind of neat thing to have that incorporated in there. I mean, it doesn't really make a huge amount of difference, just changes the workflow ever so slightly, so minor thing here, but kind of nice. They've got like a chat volume feature, which I think they always had, but I think it was buried somewhere else. You know when like you join a party and like everyone's voice is different, you have someone who's like just way louder than everyone else? This is to kind of fix that. I believe it was a feature that was in there. It's just probably been like brought to the top rather than hidden because people couldn't find it. They've got base enhancements for PS5, so voice chats are now called parties for easier access. I mean, it's just stuff that used to exist on the PS4 that they changed, that they're now changing back to this way of doing things. So basically undoing kind of a lot of the stuff they did in trying to redesign the PlayStation 5. I think PS5's workflow is fine when you get used to it, but there are a few things in there that are kind of like weird. Although the PS4 probably had something very similar at launch as well that got fixed over time. There's a bunch of new accessibility features which I'm not going to go through because it's really only relevant to a very small select portion of the audience, and you can go and check what those are. I think it's great that they're adding these in for people who need those accessibility features, but not really relevant to myself and not something I'll probably end up using. Then they've got a bunch of PS5 UI features, filtering by game. We've added an option to filter your game collection by genre, letting you quickly find specific types of games experiences. I think this is cool. Coming from someone who has been on the PlayStation ecosystem since 2007, I guess, at this point. I've got so many games in that library of content. It's good to be able to do this. More sorting options are great. Because I've had PlayStation Plus for the better part of 10 years, I think there's so many free games on there that I just don't even know exist. So having more sorting options for those and finding ways to find those, I think is really, really good. Keep in Home, you can now keep your games or apps you choose on your home screen by selecting Keep in Home. Again, another really good thing because as you just like scroll through games, they just tend to disappear off that list. When I had the PS4, I used to just have everything shown so that I would remember that there was stuff there that I was playing or that I wanted to go back to. On the PS5, they just kind of disappear and then they fall into that library, which is fine and it functions perfectly well. It's just hard to find stuff and keep stuff top of mind. I don't know if you guys have that problem, maybe not. I might be weird in that way. I have a lot of digital games and as a result of that, I think I just end up with a lot of junk on there. And not a bad update, not a great update, nothing like whoa feature-wise. The trophy feature I was kind of surprised to see, honestly, but I just wanted to talk about it a little bit because I thought it's interesting Sony is still doing stuff for trophies given they generally don't. It's also not really much of a feature or an update, so I don't know. I wanted to get everyone's thoughts on this. It's probably better of a discussion to have in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think of this update and specifically around the trophy thing, and we'll have a chat about it. All right, bye now. Another month, which means another Patreon video for all of you beautiful people out there. Thank you so much to all my Patreons and YouTube channel members over here on the right-hand side for helping to support the channel and keep the lights on. Without Patreon members, this is what it looks like. This is how it is without the lights on. You don't want that. Don't let that happen. Thanks to all the names over here on the right-hand side for helping to support the channel. If you too want to become a Patreon or a channel member, the link's in the description down below. Channel members get a bunch of cool icons next to their name. They get special emotes to use in the chat, and they get my undying gratitude, just like each and every one of you Patreons. Thank you so much. Goodbye.